How many companies right now are basically rated on Glassdoor?
You know, I should know. I was
Wait,
prepped.
ballpark.
I was prepped. Hundreds of thousands, with tens of millions of reviews. You know, so there's a ton of content, and it's fairly global too. We operate in 20 or 30 countries around the world. It's a private company still, but I took Expedia public, I took Zillow Group public, and I would hope one day, I'm a little old school, and I think taking a company public is kind of the right thing to do. It's good for the company, it creates strategic optionality. Some people these days don't think about that taking a company public is great, but I would someday like to get Glassdoor public as well.
And what's the reason some people think it's not beneficial to take a company public these days?
There's a lot of Silicon Valley machismo around staying private and being a unicorn. You know, and Mark Zuckerberg kind of got this going. He held Facebook private for quite some time. I think he would, if he were here, he'd say that was probably a mistake. That he should have gone public a lot sooner. Because these companies get big and private, and they have to start behaving and reporting as if they're public because they have so many shareholders, and they end up doing a very inefficient job at managing the equity of their companies as private companies. Anyway, I think that this pendulum will hopefully swing the other way. No individual regulation, being a public company takes a lot of work, and no individual regulation that we live under seems too onerous in and of itself, but in total it actually totals up to be quite a large burden being a public company. Zillow Group's CFO and former general counsel, Kathleen Phillips, is sitting right here. She was our Go Public GC at Zillow Group. She happens to be in town speaking at a Women in Tech or something conference that they didn't let me come to today. She took us public, not only took us public, but understands just how difficult it is to navigate that regulatory quagmire. And so it's not that easy. And you know what? We as citizens should keep an eye on we want healthy public markets. We want public ownership of companies. We don't want just private ownership of companies, because private equity takes a big rake. Okay, it turns out that things that are owned by the public it's a fair game. The sunlight is shining on them. You know, it's relatively efficient compared to what's going on in private equity. So we should all, as citizens, think about making sure that our regulations on public companies are not overly burdensome.